The top stories tonight in Y News. President Rodrigo Duterte is under quarantine after being exposed to a COVID-positive staff in his household.
Entry in business by a booster dose card upon authorities turn down the proposal requiring a booster dose card upon entry in business establishments in Metro Manila.
The Philippines has postponed the supposed rollout of COVID-19 vaccination for children aged 5 to 11.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. We are now reporting live from Quezon City. Today is Thursday, February 3, 2022. I am Herdine Delgado.
Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media account and our website, untvweb.com. I am William Theo.
First in the news. President Rodrigo Duterte is currently undergoing quarantine after being exposed to a COVID-19 positive patient. The palace assures Duterte can still perform his duties as chief executive. Rosa Licons explains why.
President Rodrigo Duterte has been exposed to a COVID-19 positive household staff member last January 30, 2022. According to presidential spokesperson and cabinet secretary Carlo Nograles, the chief executive has been tested for COVID-19 and it yielded negative results. The palace assures President Duterte will continue his work while in quarantine and is in constant communication with his cabinet members. This is to monitor the implementation of his directives on COVID-19 response. The president is already fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and has received a Sinopharm booster shot. The palace did not elaborate further on the president's health condition. But to address reports that the president was brought to a hospital, Secretary Nograles confirmed that he visited the Cardinal Santos Medical Center for a medical checkup. He did not mention when this happened. The president's last public appearance was on January 24, 2022. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippines recorded 8,702 new cases of the novel coronavirus disease or COVID-19, pushing the nationwide case count to 3,585,461. This is the third consecutive day that the country reported less than 10,000 cases. Active COVID-19 cases nationwide were at 153,335. Of these, a total of 143,493 patients have mild symptoms. 4,923 are asymptomatic. 3,067 are moderate. 1,528 are severe, and 324 are in critical condition. Meanwhile, 15,290 new survivors were logged. This brought the recovery tally to 3,337,958. The death toll, however, climbed to 54,168 after 71 more patients died. Meanwhile, the overall COVID-19 caseload has topped 384,993,873, while the deaths have surged to 5,701,281, according to the Johns Hopkins University. The U.S. is still the worst hit country with the world's highest number of cases and deaths at 75,680,487 and 894,316 respectively. In terms of infections, India follows with 41,803,318 cases and 498,983 deaths. In terms of deaths, Brazil comes second with 629,301 fatalities.
Meanwhile, a presidential advisor suggests requiring booster dose card upon entry in business establishments in Metro Manila, but authorities set aside the said proposal. Asher Kadapa Jr. explains why. Yes, Asher, good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening, William. It is too soon to oblige individuals to present booster dose card to allow entry in malls and other business establishments in Metro Manila. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chairman Benhar Abalos Jr. explains its implementation depends on the number of individuals already vaccinated with booster dose.
Okay na muna siguro yung vaccination card natin. Yung sa booster, tingnan natin kung ilang percent tayo ngayon. Pero if you're going to ask me, yung present policy natin for a vaccination card, okay na yun.
Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion proposes the requirement of booster dose card in establishments. Concepcion explains it may be imposed sometime in March or April as experts prove the waning efficacy of primary series of COVID-19 vaccines.
In Manila, we should now enforce that these booster cards be shown. No? So you have to bring now your vaccination card here and your booster card. No?
But rather than a mandatory booster dose in establishments, infectious disease specialist Dr. Edsel Salvania says the government should instead continue to prioritize jabbing more citizens with the initial doses.
Malayo pa tayo talaga dun sa mababoost natin lahat ng tao sa ngayon. Kasi marami pa rin namang hindi na bibigyan ng unang course nung vaccination, tinatawag natin na primary series. So I think na mahirap gawin yon kasi masyadong maraming tao ang hindi pa natin nabuboost. And of course, we want to make sure the focus remains on the people na hindi pa nababakunahan.
Well, as of today, business establishments only require individuals to present their vaccination cards, proving they are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Will?
Yes, thank you. Asher Kadapan Jr. reporting live from Quezon City.
Aside from the National Capital Region and Baguio City, the pilot run of the Res Vacuna sa Botica have been expanded in other areas of Visayas and Rizal. Lalaine Moreno reports.
So, itong mga ito ay complementary sa atin na vaccination program in terms of access. Kasi gusto natin yung komportable, konbinyente sa mga tao na madali magpabakuna, dadaan lang dito habang nagmamall, nagsha-shopping. So, magandang lugar dito.
Cebu City first conducted the vaccination rollout in one drugstore in Barangay Lahug. However, it is only limited for booster doses of up to 100 individuals per day. More pharmacies are expected to participate in the vaccination in the coming weeks. In the cities of Iloilo and Bacolod, 3 pharmacies joined the launching today. These are Mercury Drug in Festive Mall, Rose Pharmacy, and Mercury Drug in Ayala Malls, Bacolod City. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, Vaccine SAR Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., and Presidential Advisor for COVID-19 Response and Testing SAR Vince Dizon witnessed the ceremonial launching. Only a limited number of vaccinees joined the immunization, and tomorrow they will accommodate walk-ins and pre-registered individuals. In Rizal Province, vaccination in pharmacies is a big help for them to fast-track their vaccination efforts. They targeted 100 individuals per day and allowed walk-ins.
Ayon sa ating datos, nasa 1,653,891 or 62.27% pa lang po ang fully vaccinated sa lalawigan ng Rizal. So tandaan po ninyo yan, 62.2% pa lang ang nababakunahan ng first and second dose dito sa buong lalawigan ng Rizal. Kaya po kailangan po tayo magtulong-tulong.
Based on the data of DOH Calabarzon, only 14% of the fully vaccinated residents received their booster dose.
Nagpapasalamat po ako kasi napaka-convenient niya sa mga tao. Hindi na namin kailangan pumila pa sa malayo, tsaka napakabilis ng process.
Individuals who are willing to avail the booster shot in pharmacies must bring the vaccination card of their primary series and a valid ID. Meanwhile, the launching of pediatric vaccination or aged 5 to 11 years old will be postponed on Monday. According to Secretary Vince Dizon, who attended the Res Bakuna in Bacolod City this afternoon, the delivery of more than 700,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine for the kids is delayed. Allocated vaccines will be delivered tomorrow evening. Lelaine Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources reports medical waste fills 166 6-tonner trucks daily. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
Since the pandemic, the amount of medical waste being disposed from face masks to vaccine syringes has increased. Collected medical waste now reaches up to 1,000 metric tons per day. If improperly disposed, medical waste can spread other infections. To prevent this, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, is coordinating with the local government units to strictly implement the Solid Waste Management Act. DENR Undersecretary Jonas Leones explains medical waste is collected at a barangay level and will be delivered to the temporary transfer station. The municipal government is tasked to collect the medical waste and take it to the treatment facility before dumping it to a separate disposal site.
Pag na-treat na yan, yung mga ibang treatment facility natin, meron na silang storage doon. Doon nila itatambak yun sa kanilang lugar. Safe na yun, wala nang contamination. Or yung iba naman, baka wala silang storage sa treatment facility, dinidiretso na natin yan using sa landfill. Doon sa mga landfills natin, merong particular cell na naka-allocate para dito sa mga healthcare waste natin.
4 individuals proven to have violations in the proper medical waste disposal, Yusek Leones warns they will be held accountable. They can face a 50,000 peso fine for each violation. Their establishments will also be closed down and blacklisted. Involved individuals will also face criminal charges which can lead to imprisonment.
Pag nahuli natin yan, kung wala silang permit na kinukuha at illegal sila, talagang papasarado natin yan at magiging magba-blacklist natin sila, hindi na sila makakuha ng permit. Kung merong mga na-infect diyan sa kanilang mga actions, pwede silang mag-file ng mga damages against dito sa mga culprits, sa mga nag-violate nito.
Their safety permit will be revoked and they will not be allowed to operate until the case is over. Meanwhile, the DENR is also coordinating with local government units to ensure garbage collectors are well protected from possible infection of COVID-19 and other viruses. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Some senators expressed reservations on some of the recommendations made in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee's report on the Pharmally issue. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Following the release of the partial report of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee on the investigation on the alleged questionable government deals with Pharmally, some senators might raise some clarifications. Senate President Pro Tempore Ralph Recto says he agrees with most but not all of the findings in the report. Senator Panfilo Lacson, who sits as the vice chairman of the committee, says he already signed the report but has strong reservations on the finding that President Duterte may have betrayed public trust. He adds he will interpolate when its chairman, Senator Richard Gordon, reports it in the plenary. Senator Risa Ontiveros, who is also a member of the Blue Ribbon Committee, has signed the report, but may also interpolate once she received the full report. Meanwhile, Senator Grace Poe has yet to sign the report as she wants to read the entire report first. Earlier, Senator Manny Pacquiao expressed full support to Gordon and to the committee report. Gordon hopes that his colleagues will support the committee report despite the inclusion of President Duterte in the recommendation.
Siyempre, nag-aalangan rin yung iba dahil presidente ang kausap. Siyempre, may mga pinagsamahan rin sila. I hope that would not be the case because your duty first before friendship.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. The Senate has adopted a resolution seeking to file criminal and administrative charges against Department of Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi and other energy officials before the Office of the Ombudsman and the Civil Service Commission. This was in connection with the Chevron UC Malampaya buyout that was investigated in the Senate. Senate Committee on Energy Chairperson Sherwin Gatchalian alleges that Cusi and other energy officials committed gross neglect of duty and grave misconduct for approving the deal despite the lack of financial qualification of UC Malampaya, an indirect subsidiary of Dennis Uy's Udena Corporation. The senators who abstained from voting include Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Mig Zubiri, Senators Bong Revilla, Ronald Bato de la Rosa, and Francis Tolentino. Gatchalian also urged Cusi and other energy officials involved to immediately resign from their posts. In a statement, Cusi said he has taken note of the senator's statement and will issue a response as soon as he gets hold of the Senate resolution.
Presidential aspirant Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos will not attend the presidential forum organized by the Kapisanan ng Broadcaster ng Pilipinas or KBP. Nel Maribohok reports why.
The kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas in a statement said that the camp of presidential aspirant Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos declined the invitation to the presidential forum due to prior commitments. According to KBP President Herman Basbanyo, other 5 aspirants, namely Leo de Guzman, Senator Ping Lacson, Mayor Isko Moreno, Senator Manny Pacquiao, and Vice President Leni Robredo have accepted the invitation go on the live, although virtual, interview with a panel of journalists from several media outfits. In a statement, de Guzman criticized Marcos Jr. for skipping the presidential forum, telling his supporters to come to their senses. According to Attorney Victor Rodriguez, the spokesperson of Marcos, the former senator was looking forward to attend the KBP Presidential Forum, but current schedules prevent him from joining the event. He said they are looking forward to engaging with similar KBP initiatives in the future. Vice President Leni Robredo led the turnover of more than 500 antigen test kits to local government officials of Guagua, Pampanga. Robredo also met her supporters in the province. Meanwhile, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno led the commemoration of 77th anniversary of Battle of Manila. Moreno compared the World War in 1945 to the current pandemic situation.
The situation at present may be different from that during the war, but the challenges are the same. We are right now in the middle of the global pandemic.
Other presidential aspirants have no reported activities. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Security forces have joined together with the Commission on Elections and other sectors to ensure the peaceful and orderly local and national elections on May 9. Leah Ilagan reports.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, believes that the security for this coming election is a big challenge, especially in the places with intense political rivalry. COMELEC Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Attorney Chofilo Elnas, said they need the cooperation of various sectors to have a peaceful election.
Elections is not only the concern of COMELEC, it's everybody's concern. So as we prepare, I am confident that we will not fail. Failure is not an option. I am confident that in the end, we will prevail. In the end, we will succeed.
The Paris Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, or PPCRV, is pushing to have a clean, honest, and meaningful elections.
Makakaasa po kayo ng aming pong suporta at tulong sa ating nalalapit na halalan. 10 ng aming mga napakaraming mga volunteers sa lahat ng panig ng ating bansa. Ang aming pong samahan sa PPCRB ay talaga namang pipilitin sa abot ng aming makakaya na tayo po ay makamtan itong ating mga pangunahing hangarin.
AFP Chief of Staff General Andres Centino assures the undivided commitment of his men in addressing security threats in the elections.
The outcome of the national elections will define the next 6 years of Philippine governance and leadership that shall undoubtedly affect and impart on the future for all Filipinos and this country. With all of us working together, I am confident that we will achieve our collective aspirations of facilitating progress and development.
PNP Chief Police General Junardo Cardos meanwhile appealed to the public's cooperation in attaining the integrity of the upcoming elections.
Together, let us work in ushering the country to inclusive change as we work together in cascading the goals of a prosperous and peaceful life for the Filipino people.
Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or Comm, assures that the retirement of their 3 top officials will not affect the preparations for the 2022 elections. Dante Almento tells us why live. Yes, Dante?
Good evening, Harleen. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC programs for the 2022 automated national and local elections are in place and streamlined. Thus, COMELEC spokesperson Director James Jimenez believes that their preparations would not be affected despite the retirement of Chairman Sheriff Abbas, Commissioners Rowena Guanzon and Antonio Co yesterday. Currently, the poll body has only 4 commissioners left supervising the preparations for the elections. Jimenez added the president can also appoint a new chairman and commissioners, though the Congress is in break.
An appointment made while Congress is not in session, yes, that appointee can assume office right away. The challenge there is that the appointee has to lose their job if they are not confirmed when Congress resumes session.
But Jimenez admitted there might be a problem over the quorum, particularly at the ANBank, such as in voting for the disposition of a case or any decision-making. During an ANBank session, there must be at least 4 commissioners present in order to have a quorum.
If a matter ever gets elevated to them, they're going to have to sit as a quorum or with a quorum in order to get anything done. That's the challenge for them. That's what makes it difficult. But in terms of getting things going, not really a problem.
Meanwhile, the Commission clarified that Commissioner Marlon Casquejo can still vote in the consolidated disqualification cases of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Casquejo is still in the first division, contrary to the recent pronouncement of former Commissioner Rowena Guanzon that Casquejo's vote is also defeated because he is transferred to the second division effective today. The ANBank may discuss the issue of commissioners reshuffling by February 9.
Since wala pa namang official na nalilipat, then it stands to reason that if he wants to come out with a decision today, then he can do that. But again, we're all waiting on the ponencia, the main decision.
Currently, the ponencia, or the main decision of Marcos's disqualification cases before the first division, is not yet released by the ponente, which is Commissioner Amy Ferolino. Meanwhile, Harleen, Jimenez, being the current spokesperson of the commission, will tender his resignation to acting COMELEC Chairman Socorro Inting. This is to give leeway Commissioner Inting to designate her preferred spokesperson. But Jimenez, on the other hand, also clarified that he is willing to stay as spokesperson of the commission if the acting chairman wants it. And that's our latest live from Quezon City. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Dante Almento, reporting live.
The government has postponed the scheduled COVID-19 vaccination for children aged 5 to 11. JP Nunez will tell us why live. JP, go ahead.
Diego, good evening. The 780,000 doses of reformulated Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines, which was scheduled to arrive tonight, got delayed due to logistical issues. It will be specifically used for 5 to 11 years old vaccination, which was scheduled to be launched tomorrow. However, due to vaccine delay, the national government decided to move the immunization program for 5 to 11 years old on Monday, February 7.
kahapon siya from tomorrow, from tonight to tomorrow night. So dahil doon, i-postpone din natin yung launch na dapat mangyayari bukas. Mag-launch na tayo sa Lunes, February 7.
Local government units in the National Capital Region also posted their announcements postponing the pilot rollout of 5 to 11 pediatric vaccination. San Juan City LGU already sent text blast messages regarding the postponement to more than 1,000 parents who are scheduled tomorrow for the launch. However, San Juan, which have prepared today, will retain their setup until Monday in Phil Oil Flying Bee Center, which was one of the selected sites for the program.
Wala naman pong problema ito. We will just have to adjust our schedules based on what will be given to us by the DOH. Pag sabihin nilang sa Lunes, handa naman po kami. Tandaan po ninyo, hindi naman namin hawak ang mga bakuna na customized para sa edad na ito. Hindi rin namin hawak ang mga syringe na para sa age group na babakunahan natin, which is 5 to 11. So, hinihintay din namin ang delivery ng mga ito.
They will be setting up the vaccination site with children's party themed decorations. Coloring activities, cosplaying, mascots, and magic shows will also be placed during vaccination. This aims to divert children's fear from the vaccine.
Ang gusto po naming gawin dito sa San Juan ay pagpasok ng ating kabataang edad 5 hanggang 11 ay pakiramdam nila pumapasok sila sa isang children's party. At ang ating layunin dito ay mawala ang kanilang atensyon sa karayom o sa mismong pagbabakuna at mapunta sa mga makikita nilang mga activities.
Meanwhile, the National Children's Hospital will place television sets on vaccination area to entertain kids while on queue. Around 1,500 of the said age group is now registered in the National Children's Hospital.
Nag-ikot po kami doon sa area, and then yung pong mga nagbigay po ng konting orientation uli, ni-remind lang po namin sila kung ano po yung mga dapat nilang gawin, ano po yung pwedeng itanong sa kanila. At of course ma'am, isa po yun sa ipinahanda namin, magkaroon po ng mga television set sa waiting area para po hindi naiinip yung mga bata.
Manila Zoo placed its vaccination area near the aviary section where kids will see animals during vaccination. The setup also aims to divert fear of kids from the vaccine. Jego, the Department of Health previously said they aim to immunize at least more than 15 million children from the said age group. That is our latest live. Back to you, Jego.
Thank you for that live report, JP Nunez.
Over 200 establishments in Metro Manila were found not complying with the government's COVID-19 public health standards. Janice and Hente will give us the details live. Yes, Janice?
Yes, Charlene, a buffet restaurant inside Mega Mall in Mandaluyong were found non-compliant with the COVID-19 health protocols. DTI noticed that there are no food server and the restaurant management allows the customers to grab their orders. DTI issued a request for corrective measure to the said establishment.
Kailangan may nagsaserve ng pagkain. Yung kahit na may plato ka, ikaw yung customer, merong magbibigay sa'yo, hindi ikaw ang kukuha. Whether you wear the gloves or not, hindi ka pa rin dapat kukuha ng food mo.
DTI also inspected amusement centers inside the Mega Mall, which are now allowed to operate under Alert Level 2 and accepting minors.
Sa amusement centers, ito nga yung kailangan natin din ipaalala sa mga tao. They have to have safety officers. Kailangan yun, merong nag-i-inspect talaga ng compliance ng mga tao. There is sanitation, yung kamay, kung kailangan mong maglagay in all corners of the business establishment ng alcohol para accessible sa lahat ng tao, and then the physical distancing.
The DTI also clarified that based on the IITF guidelines, now that Metro Manila is at alert level 2, vaccination cards will no longer be a requirement. But if establishments or LGUs still require it, the public still needs to comply.
Hindi na rin required ang Vax card na ipakita mo. But if you have it at gusto mo ipakita, okay lang rin. Depende na sa kanila and the local government units, of course. Dahil may ordinansa yan na pinapatupad, so pagka inalaw ng LGU, kailangan na naman sumunod ng mga establishments.
Meanwhile, aside from amusement centers and restaurants, DTI also inspected fitness gyms, beauty salons, and cinemas. According to DTI, since January this year, over 800 establishments in Metro Manila have been inspected and 200 were found non-compliant with the public health standards. Harleen, the agency again warns business establishments that even if they have a safety seal, it can be withdrawn and their operations will be suspended for violation under regulation. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Janice and Henta, reporting live from Quezon City.
Health experts give their advice to parents on how to prepare their kids for COVID-19 vaccination. The health department said kids should be in good condition before getting their jab. Aiko Miguel reports.
The COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 will soon be available in the Philippines. However, most kids are afraid of needles and vaccination. Health experts remind the public to prepare their children physically and mentally before their COVID-19 vaccination day. Infectious diseases expert and member of the DOH Technical Advisory Group advise parents to assure their children they show no COVID-19 symptoms and have no exposure to an infected individual.
Siguraduhin po natin na malusog po yung bata at wala pong sintomas ng COVID, wala po silang exposure in the last few days.
Because children with comorbidities are prioritized, it is best to consult first their pediatrician before getting their COVID-19 jab.
It's not required naman kung healthy, pero lalong-lalo na po doon sa mga merong comorbids. Kung medyo nababahala po kayo, it always pays to talk to your child's doctor para mas lalo po tayong ligtas. At very important, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga children na merong comorbid conditions, kausapin po natin yung ating pediatrician dahil mas nakakaalam po talaga sa kaso ng ating ng bata natin, yung kanyang personal pediatrician.
As parents, they should explain well to their children the COVID-19 vaccination process and COVID-19 vaccine's importance as protection against COVID-19. Also, try to tell the children that if more people are vaccinated, they will have a greater chance to see their friends, go to school, and be reunited with their schoolmates and teachers. Children should also be educated of the benefits of COVID-19 vaccines, and getting a COVID-19 vaccine is just a small poke instead of describing it like it will sting or burn. According to child life specialists of the University of Michigan Health, parents should ask their child how they feel about getting the COVID-19 vaccine and what they already know about it. They should not be forced to get the jab. While waiting for their turn in vaccination sites, help them relax and let them watch children's show while on cue. Hold their hands tightly to assure support and they are safe. Tell them stories or share one's COVID-19 vaccination experience to assure them it's okay to get inoculated. Vaccinators should also make strategies so the vaccination won't hurt or traumatize a child. Vaccinators are trained to make this possible.
Tayo po ay nakapaghanda na i-train na ho natin ang ating pong mga vaccinators. Ito po ay sinagawa ng Pfizer together with other agencies of government. Yung mga logistics po natin nakahanda na po dito sa mga piling lugar na uumpisahan natin.
The DOH stands firm COVID-19 vaccines are safe for children too.
we are trying to assure lahat po ng ating kababayan, lalong-lalo ng ating mga nanay, safe po, ligtas po ang bakuna ng ating 5 to 11 years old. Kailangan po nila ito dahil po sila po ay walang bakuna at kung patuloy na magtataas ang kaso, lalong-lalo na sa ibang lugar, kailangan po protektado rin po sila.
Before their inoculation date, children should have enough sleep, had good meals, and are in good condition. The government targets to inoculate 15.48 million 5 to 11 years old Filipino children. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Central United States is currently experiencing freezing rain and heavy snowfall that is expected to reach more than 30 centimeters high. It's threatening to make travel dangerous and possibly knocking out power for millions of its residents. Paul Gatalian reports why live. Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Ariel, a combination of winter and ice storm caused by Arctic high-pressure blast wide parts of the U.S. from Texas and Colorado that began on Tuesday night. Officials warned that there will be significant amounts of snowfall and ice for the next 2 to 3 days. It will also impact southern Rockies, moving all the way up to northern New England with heavy snow. While from Texas to Pennsylvania, heavy ice accretion will likely occur according to the National Weather Service. NWS also forecasts a mixture of snow and freezing rain in southern states that will rapidly deteriorate travel conditions. Some 2,400 flights were already canceled as wind gusts as high as 64 kilometers per hour is expected. In northwest Indiana, highway ramps are blanketed with heavy snow. Indiana State Police urge people not to travel if they do not have to. While in Memphis, officials said travel could be impossible due to the ice that could shut down the power supply and damage trees. The heaviest icefall is predicted for Kentucky and Tennessee, and dozens of classes in school districts were already canceled. Marielle?
Thank you, Paul Gatalian, reporting live from New Zealand. National governing body USA Swimming has revealed the new rules that will allow transgender athletes to compete in elite events. Maeve and Dog will give us the details live. Yes, Maeve, good evening.
Marielle, the Athlete Inclusion, Competitive Equity and Eligibility Policy aims to be inclusive of all cisgender and transgender athletes while maintaining a level playing field. Under the new guidelines, transgender athletes who wish to compete against cisgender female swimmers will be tested to make sure their testosterone level is below 5 nanomoles per liter continuously for at least 36 months. A panel of 3 independent medical experts will also ensure that prior physical development of the athlete as a male will not give them a competitive advantage over cisgender female competitors. Meanwhile, conservative women's groups, the Independent Women's Law Center and Independent Women's Forum have condemned the idea of making the testosterone level a deciding factor to participate in women's swimming. Director Jennifer Becerra said this new decision tries to eliminate the fact that post-pubescent males have an athletic advantage over females, ignoring fair competition and equal opportunity. Meanwhile, the World Swimming's governing body, FINA, is in the process of developing its gender eligibility rules. And until their policy has been released, USA Swimming's criteria will remain in place. Marielle?
Thank you, Maeve and Dog, reporting live from Australia. Market shares of Meta Platforms Incorporated went down after posting their fourth quarterly revenue report on Wednesday, showing heavy investments towards Metaverse project, which led into their decline in profits. The shares went down by more than 20%, which is on track to drop the company's market capitalization by $200 billion before the market reopens on Thursday. Meta invested more than $10 billion in its Reality Labs Metaverse project, where users can immerse themselves into the virtual world to interact with other users using virtual and augmented reality.
The group believes that Apple's changes on their privacy features last year are also accountable for the decline in profits. The new changes give users the option to allow or decline third-party apps from collecting data, making it harder for companies like Meta to track people for advertising purposes. The company said it earned $10.29 billion or $3.67 per share in the fourth quarter of 2021, which is 8% less compared to previous year. Other social media stocks were also affected, including Twitter Incorporated and Pinterest Incorporated, both down to 10%, and Snap Incorporated down to 20%. An agreement to move forward to a peaceful resolution was made between United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ia De Vera will give us the details live. Yes, Ia, go ahead.
Mariel, the leaders spoke through a phone call on Wednesday discussing topics concerning the crisis in Ukraine, and together the two consolidated that aggravation was in no one's interest. Though President Putin is still cautious about Ukraine joining the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO, as he believes this will allow Crimea, which is in the Russian peninsula, to be forcibly taken. From this, Putin presented an argument. If they were ever under threat and defense was needed, they would be entering a war with the NATO bloc. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, though, argued that Ukraine has every right to join NATO and warned of the political, humanitarian, and military disaster if Russia invaded Ukraine.
A further Russian invasion of Ukraine would be a political disaster, a humanitarian disaster. In my view, it would also be, for Russia, for the world, a military disaster as well. And the potential invasion completely flies in the face of President Putin's claims to be acting in the interests of the Ukrainian people. The UK and other countries will be judged by the people of Ukraine and the world on how we respond and how we help.
Mariel, he has since then sent $119 million to support Ukraine fight corruption and become independent, and has offered 1,150 UK troops to NATO with additional weapons, warships, and jets due to the growing tensions. Mariel?
Thank you, Ia De Vera, reporting live from New Zealand. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Mariela Toza reporting live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
A single mother in Ghana, Africa, barely has profits from selling scarves. That is why she needs help to have more items to sell. With God's help and mercy, Members Church of God International support paved the way for Margaret Asante to better support her children, even on her own. Here's the story how Margaret witnessed that MCGI cares.
Margaret Asante finds strength in her dreams for her children, to be able to support them on her own. But most of all, she finds strength in God in everything she does for her children. But with her measly income from selling scarves, she needs to find means to earn more. Her wish is to have more products to sell in order to make ends meet and to support her children's studies. Members Church of God International found a way to help Margaret and granted her wish with God's mercy and guidance. Now she has more scarves to sell, plus MCGI free store items for the whole family.
It's a person. Na obi twa na makofa. Na mabeton. Enti menye bia na mede ama me ma no. Enti omo ba no mne me ebeche ye no me ma na ndwun sese kra na me side ehunu. Ba eso mo bebre. We dey say na tibe ton a me dia kofa bi e wo bi ho. Na te say me so ni na na say e kosoro ani. We dey radius. MCGI.
At Benamao, thanks be to God for his wondrous works and his holy words. As it is written in Galatians chapter 6, verse 10, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. God's words teaches us to do good unto our fellow men as we have opportunity. That is why MCGI will uphold and cling to these words and couple it with action and faith, hope, and love, because MCGI cares.
Before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 16, it says, "Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." And those are the reasons behind the news, February 3, 2022. I am Herlene Delgado.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Angelo Castro III.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.